Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Welcome to Words of Wisdom with Sheikh Ibrahim Lethome Asmani. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, Sheikh. How are you?
Alhamdulillah, I'm very fine.
We're going to speak to you, or rather, we're going to hear from you today on the topic of rights of children in Islam.
MashaAllah. I think this is a very important topic. Why children? Why children? And as a lawyer, you know, I don't know the constitution. I understand you people don't have a written constitution
in UK. Written
but
constitution.
In our constitution, we have a very important chapter. We call it the Bill of Rights. The rights, the human rights are all there. And then out of those rights, they are unpackaged. We have the rights of children. And somebody was asking, are they not human beings? So once you say these are the rights of all human beings, why do you have to remove the children also? Why are you splitting hairs? It's because they are a special interest group. So even in Islam, this is a special interest group in that more often than not, this is a group that cannot fight for their rights. They cannot ask for their rights. And more often than not, they are oppressed and denied their rights within a family. And that's why we need to emphasize a lot on the rights of children in Islam. And Islam actually considers children as a blessing. Children are a blessing from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And it is the children that give, they are the future actually of the society. The future of the family, the future of the society is within the children. They are the ones who carry on whatever their parents are doing. So they are a blessing. But this blessing, we need to take care of it. And the way to take care of it is to ensure that they get their rights. And Islam, because it is a complete way of life, has given us guidelines on how to take care of the children and what their rights are. You know, we don't need to wait for these legislations and the rest to tell us what the rights of children are. The Quran and the Sunnah is replete with what the rights of children are. Right, and you know, Khalid, there's a time I met with lawyers who are not Muslims, and I told them, you know, the rights of children in Islam, they begin long before they are born. Say, how? Say, when you're choosing the mother for them or the father for them, that's when the rights begin in. You have to choose the right mother for your children and the right father for your children if you're a woman. So that's where they begin, you know. Surely, this lady that I'm about to propose to, is she going to be a good mother to my children or not? And I'm sure the lady, a Muslim lady, should be asking herself, is this man going to be a good father to my children? So the rights of children begin even before the parents get together. That's how serious Islam is about the rights of children. You choose the mother to your children, you choose the father to your children. Because these are the people who are going to bring them up. If you choose the right person, then your children are in the right hand. Khalid, you leave your house very early in the morning. I'm sure most of the time the children spend with their mother. If the mother is not right, your children will be wrong.
Yes.
If she's right, they are in safe hands. A lot of things, and I test it with young children, including my own children. I am a scholar. But the dua for eating food, they were taught by their mother, not me. The dua when you're going to bed, it's their father. A lot of mannerisms within the house. If she taught them the wrong things, they will not be right. If you bring up your daughters and they keep on seeing a mother who does not cover her hair, do you think they're going to cover their hair, to wear the hijab? Do you think they're going to observe salah at home? Or if the children grow up with a father who does not fast in the month of Ramadan, or they see the father is not doing namaz, praying, salah, the 5 salawat. So the rights of children begin before they are born by choosing the right spouse. Number 2, on the day of nikah, the sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that before you consummate the nikah, you make dua. Because you want to keep shaitan away from whatever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala might bless you with in that night. The dua is, Ya Allah, here I am about to consummate. This is my halal. If you bless us with a child, keep shaitan away from this child. You know, sometimes I keep quiet and say, we have sometimes children who are so stubborn, they don't listen to their parents. Maybe their parents did not do dua. They were denied this dua. you know, when the parents were consummating the marriage. So that is the right of the children, that you pray, you protect them from shaitan, iblis. On the first night, the rights of the child in Islam. Then the child is born. Khalid, you have to choose a good name for your child. It is their right to get a good name. You know, in Kenya, we have a tribe where they don't care about what they call children. It's traditional. Fine, leopard, hyena, whatever, in their traditional language. But in Islam, you can't call your child any name, because the name has an effect on the child.
To reflect on their character.
If you call your child Iblis, well, it's a name. It will be registered on the ID and the passport. But you can imagine the effect of that name on that child, Iblis. So we are told, choose a good name for your child. That is the right of your child.
That's the first right.
Yes, and that's
why they're born.
You have a beautiful name, Khalid. I have a beautiful name, Ibrahim. You know, so that is the right of the child. Again, now we have these basic needs of the child. We all know them. But I want to talk about something here. Discrimination between the male and female children. I've seen this in many Muslim families. The way they receive the baby girl and the way they receive the baby boy is different. And I don't want to talk about aqiqah, because we know the aqiqah of a boy is 2 goats and that one of a girl. That's not discrimination. These are the teachings of Islam. But when should we celebrate more? When we get a daughter or a boy? This is where we go wrong.
And Islam actually came during, the period of Jahiliyyah.
Yes, exactly.
When the female babies, the baby girls were being, being buried alive.
Yes, there was a female infanticide. And
Absolutely.
That's why we are told in one of the surah, وَإِذَا الْمَوْءُودَةُ سُئِلَتْ بِأَيِّ ذَنْبٍ قُتِلَتْ. In reference to that, they will be asked on the day of Qiyamah, why were they killed? For what sin? Just being a girl? Yet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has told us, this is a gift from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We don't choose. لِلَّهِ مُلْكُ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ يَهَبُ لِمَنْ يَشَاءُ إِنَاثًا. Look, it begins with the inath, female. وَيَهَبُ لِمَنْ يَشَاءُ الذُّكُورِ. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives whoever He wishes, males. أَوْ يُزَوِّجُهُمْ ذُكُرَانًا وَإِنَاثًا. Or you might get a mixture of both. وَيَجْعَلُ مَنْ يَشَاءُ أَقِيمًا. And for some people, 0, nothing at all. It's not because of our wish, it's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's like you're challenging Allah. Why have you given me a daughter? And that is Jahiliyyah.
That is not only Jahiliyyah. There's another point that I would like to make. Imagine the person or the couple who don't have any children.
Yeah.
What they would give.
Yes, to get that
female child.
Imagine,
baby girl.
Yeah. So it's the right of the child to be appreciated, whether male or female. They are from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is their right.
But if anything, from the sunnah of Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, we know the value that's placed on
the
baby girls. That if you bring up 2 or 3, or in another narration, I'll let you.
And the reward is that you and the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam will be in Jannah together. That is what I call affirmative action. Because Islam came at a time when this girl child was being denied her right even to live, and a lot of rights. Islam came now to reaffirm that this child has a right. So, and that's why I say, people might think that affirmative action is a new concept. It was there in Islam. It's been there. The Quran is full of affirmative action. This group of people are being oppressed, Islam comes and lifts them up. That hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, that whoever is blessed with a daughter, 2 daughters, 3 daughters, you bring them up, your reward is Jannah with the Prophet ﷺ. Can you imagine? Affirmative action. So receive both children with appreciation and know that this is a gift from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and it is amana. You'll be asked on the day of Qiyamah.
We're going to pause there. We're going to go for a short break, inshallah.
Okay.
Dear viewers, I've been speaking to Sheikh Ibrahim Lethome Asmani on the topic of rights of children in Islam. We are now going to go for a short break. Do stay with us. After we come back from the break, we're going to continue our discussion. See you shortly. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Welcome back to Words of Wisdom with Sheikh Ibrahim Lethome Asmani. Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Wa alaikum salam wa
We
rahmatullah.
were, before the break,
Yeah.
we were talking about rights of children in Islam, and particularly the point where we paused was the point of talking about how we have to appreciate, irrespective of whether it's a baby girl or a baby boy,
Exactly.
and especially in Islam, the value that is placed on baby girls.
Exactly. So because it's a departure from Jahiliyyah, the practice in Jahiliyyah. So there is affirmative action for the girl child to be taken care of. Now, do you know in some families, Khalid?
Before we proceed,
Yes.
I want to ask you about that particular hadith,
Yes.
where the Prophet said that if you have 2 daughters or 3 daughters,
Yes.
is there also a narration where one of the Sahaba, one of the companions asked,
What
asked
about
what if
it's
what
one?
if
Say
a
even
person
one.
has 1?
Exactly.
And the Prophet said, yes,
Yes.
if you look after that one baby
Exact-
girl,
yes.
then you will
Yes,
get.
Jazakallah khairan for reminding. So it's meaning generally when you get a daughter, take good care of her. And that is a departure from Jahiliyyah, the Jahiliyyah practice. You're going against the practice of Jahiliyyah, and that is the sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi
Sallallahu alaihi
wasallam, and
wasallam.
that is the value of a baby girl. And we shall be going, this baby girl one day will be a mother, and you know the value that has been placed on the mother more than the father. Remember the person who came to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam
Sallallahu
and
alaihi
asked
wasallam.
him, who between my mother and my father has more rights? Say, your mother. After her, your mother. 3 times he repeated your mother. Then the 4th one, then he said, and your father. So the mother, and that the mother was once upon a time, that little girl, okay,
Yes.
has 3 more times value than the father. Now, in some families, Khalid, I was just about to tell you, if you want to know that the father is in the house, you just need to look at the mood the children have. If they're very gloomy, very sad, then you know the father is at home. Because they are so scared of their father. They are so scared of their parents. Is that how we are supposed to relate with our children? Are we supposed to be terrorists with our children?
Absolutely not.
We should show love to our children. Actually, they should be our friends. We should be friendly. But there are people who say, no. I have to teach them. Come and look at the Prophet sallallahu alaihi
Sallallahu
wasallam
alaihi
and his relationship with his children and the grandchildren, Hassan and Hussein and Umayma. He used to play with them to the extent that there is a time he would go for sujood. These boys would even climb on him, and he's on sujood, and he would wait until the boy climbs down. If today anything like that happens, I'm sure that child will really get a beating, a smacking. But look at the love of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam for
Sallallahu alaihi
children. This is a child, for God's sake. Show love to this child. The Prophet showed a lot of love to children.
Yeah, Sheikh, I want to bring a very small point here.
Yeah,
Is sometimes in our mosques,
exactly.
in our mosques, people bring their children, which they must. Because if we
Yes.
want to teach our children to go to mosque, we must bring them to
At that tender age.
at that very young
Yeah,
age. Because
exactly.
you're not suddenly going to get them going to the masjid if you have
Exactly.
never trained them
Exactly.
going to the masjid. But some of our brothers and even sisters perhaps,
Yes.
they get annoyed.
Yes, with the
So
children.
please tell us about this.
Yeah, let me tell you, I don't know who told, it's international, it's practiced all over. Because in some of the mosques in Kenya, the children will be told to pray behind there. Nobody wants to pray next to the children. Who said that? We should show these children love. We are training them. These
Yes.
are the future Muslims. These are the future imams of this mosque. We should, and for God's sake, don't expect from children the behavior of grown-ups. They are children.
They are children.
Treat them
Yes.
as that. The Prophet ﷺ treated them like that. We should show them love. Now, how do we guide them? Is it through cruelty? No. It should be through love. That's how we guide. And now I'm going to move to something else. Physical beating of children.
Before that, let me just finish that on that point.
Okay.
Because I am a member of a masjid committee.
Okay.
And then this is something that I encounter. The point is this,
Mhm.
that if our children are so unwelcome in the masjid, if they get shouted at, Are they going to feel
No.
love going to the
No.
masjid?
No. We should show them a lot of love. Let them love the masjid. Correct them. Okay, I know children will always be children.
Yes.
They would want to play, but guide them. Let them know. If you don't teach them, who is going to teach them? Where are they going to learn? If they don't feel welcome in our masajid, where else will they feel welcome?
If they get turned away from the masjid,
Yeah, where do you want them to go?
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So
let's go to your what you wanted to discuss: physical
now,
punishment
to the
beating.
children. I think we have a big problem, and I'll give you my own story. My father became a Muslim when we were young. My father and mother. The first thing, of course, I was taken to a madrasa for Quran and the rest. The kind of beating, Khalid, I got there, I told my father, can we go back to Christianity? Because it was terrible. The madrasa was supposed to be Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah.
On Friday,
luckily we don't have that here. In the madrasa we don't have the beating.
I would pray that I want to become sick on Friday night so that I don't go to madrasa the next day.
Subhanallah.
I told my father, why don't we go back to Christianity because of the beating? I'm a child. That pain, physical pain. Anyway, I was stopped from going to madrasa because I didn't want that physical pain. I hated the Quran because of the pain. I hated madrasa because of the beating. And it's still going on today in many madrasas.
In many parts of the world, yes.
And when you ask, just listen to the explanation that you are given to the perpetrators of that violence against children. They tell you Quran can never get in here without some pain. Even the Prophet ﷺ was squeezed by Jibril for him to be able to read the Quran. And my argument has been, are you Jibril? And is my child Muhammad ﷺ? Surely. Why do you want my child to hate Quran and associate Quran with pain? Make this child love the Quran. And you know, parents, we also perpetrate that. We tell the Mualim, like in my language, they say, Mualim is a teacher, madrasa teacher. Just leave the eyes intact. Every part of the body is yours. Do what you want as long as my child gets Quran. And the result of that is that when the child becomes maybe an adolescent, they rebel against the madrasa. They don't want to go to the madrasa because now they're big enough. They'll only go to madrasa because they have been forced out of fear. They'll be beaten at home, so they'd rather go and be beaten in the madrasa. Is that showing love to the children? Did the Prophet ﷺ teach even his Sahabas through violence, physical violence? We should make them love the madrasa. And that's why I feel, and our madrasa teachers are doing a wonderful job. But there's one thing we need to do. Challenge number 2 to you, Mr. Khalid. Can we train our teachers on child psychology? Our madrasa teachers.
Yeah.
Let them understand the psychology of a child, and that a child learns better when the child is playing. Look at the nursery school, the kindergartens. Children are so happy and they're learning. Children learn when they're in that relaxed atmosphere, not when the child is so tense. Somebody is holding a big stick here on them. So love at home and in the madrasa. So
luckily here in this country we have, very strict child protection measures.
Okay.
And then so those are some of the things that we are fortunate, because by legislation we have those here. But beating, as you say, it is indeed, it is violence against children.
Actually,
it's not just in. What about even at home?
Even at
parents,
home, even at home.
So what is permissible?
Permissible. Okay, you can talk to this child, and there are many ways of punishing this child. Okay, because of course they have to be guided. Your child doesn't want to wake up for salah. There is a way of talking. I believe you talk to this child. Okay, and again, even if you have to do that, it has to be, you choose the best method of doing it. Choose the best method of doing it. Some of us will do it out of anger. You find a person has slapped a child, taken whatever, you throw it at a child. Is that training the child? Actually,
that is teaching them violence.
Violence, actually. You're teaching them
That's
violence.
what they will learn.
Yeah, and actually we're doing research now to find out whether some of these children or these youth who have joined radical groups and violent groups, maybe they are products of violent systems.
Yes.
Because violence begets violence. So I don't advocate, and Islam does not advocate violence. And for me, the best example is the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He was so kind to children, and he attracted them to himself. They learned a lot of things from him, even grown-ups, not through hardness, through softness. So it is the right of children that we love them.
Okay, thank you very much, Sheikh.
Yeah.
Let's end on that note,
Yeah.
that we have to cherish and love our children.
Yes.
Jazakumullahu khairan. Dear viewers, we're going to end our discussion on this particular topic, rights of children in Islam, here. Thank you very much indeed for staying with us. We'll see you again, inshallah, in the next episode. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.